Hey guys, this is Karen Elizabeth, and I had something, a thought come to mind. I want to share with you. I think is really important. The question from me to you, is this: How stupid are you? And I'll tell you why I asked that question. Do you recall that before COVID, we had an issue with toilet paper? Do you remember that? I thought about it and I thought, this is one good way to test out their theory, whoever their theory is that came up with this nonsense of COVID. I know people have died, but there's a lot of things we can do to protect ourselves, and you should stop wearing the mask. So, this is what I wanted to ask you. Did you ever think that possibly that was a trial run for them? Oh, let's just see if we can get these people to do what we want them to do. Let's just see if we can get them to rush to the store and get all the toilet paper for worry that the toilet paper is going to run out. Give me a frigging break. I'm sorry. I thought about it and I thought, you know what? It's very possible. It's very possible. They thought, well, if we can get them to go out and get toilet paper, we could surely do more. That's a trial run. And how many of you went out and got your toilet paper? Oh my gosh, I have to get my toilet paper. We're going to run out of toilet paper. What am I going to do? I'm not going to have toilet paper. It's like loony bin time. Whoever it was that came up with this idea that toilet paper was going to be, in great demand and went out and bought 50 rolls at a time, you actually just fell. You just naively just went right into their hands. They're like, oh, good. We got them. We can tell them anything now and they will obey us. And where was all this news about toilet paper coming in? Social media, right? Where did you find out about the toilet paper not being available and how we had to get to the store and get it? How many of you went to the grocery store and saw the shelves empty and you were so worried, oh, I've got to go find out where I can get my toilet paper. I'm going to have to pay $5 a roll on Amazon. Boy, did they really get you. They got us all. So how stupid are you? Are you going to continue to be naive about things like this? And now with this whole COVID and the election and all the worry and all the fear, how stupid are you? Stop being stupid. Stop it. You've got to wake up. You've got to smell the roses and you've got to do some more research because we cannot let this happen to us. We're American citizens. We have plenty in this country. There's plenty of food. There's plenty of toilet paper. There's plenty of everything we need. What we also have is too high a medical bill, not enough freedom. We have abortion on demand. We've got babies being killed up to 9 months of the woman being pregnant. We have people that are buying into voting for Biden, who is for pro-abortion. Biden wants, and his cohort, Kamala Harris, they want you to be able to get an abortion. What is an abortion? It's a crucifying of children, no matter what age, in the mother or whatever. That mother is crucifying. She is killing her baby, and she is thereby killing a part of her heritage, a part of her future, a part of a generation of people that will not be born. Many of these people, many of these children had such a destiny to cure disease, a destiny to do great things, a destiny to have a cure for COVID a lot quicker than we have it now. There are many children. In fact, I've heard two different sides. I've heard 60 million children babies in America have been aborted. And I've heard as many as 72 million babies. Now, maybe that's worldwide. I don't know. But that's a lot of children. How would have you liked it if you didn't get to be born? You You would have not gotten to see the beautiful sunrise and sunset, the moon shining, the stars. You wouldn't have been able to go on a boat ride or play tennis or be on a sports team or whatever. You wouldn't have had the opportunity to live, to get to know your parents, to be loved by anyone. You wouldn't have gotten that experience. Why are you being so stupid? I'm serious about this. Get some knowledge. You know what? When I see these people who have Biden signs up, a lot of older people, they have no idea what they're doing. They're supporting the crucifixion of babies. If you're not voting for Trump, you're voting for babies to be killed. How about if somebody took your child? You have a 2-year-old, you have a 1-year-old, they take your child and they kill it. Would you want that? No, after you've loved that child, how many parents want to love their children, but they're being impressed? Oh, I've got to get an abortion. I can't afford it. I can't do this. You know, it's not good for society. There's too many people. There's too many people in the population. We have to keep the population low. That's a lot of baloney. Look at, if you go to any big state, there is like so much land, so many opportunities for creating jobs, so many opportunities. There's an abundance of opportunities for us to create things that could help each other. We need to help each other. The very fact that abortion is legal, you know what it's doing? It's causing curses to come upon us. Nothing is done. You've heard that expression, what you reap, you're going to sow. No, what you sow, you're going to reap. You've heard that. You've heard people talk about it in like the new age kind of thing. It's like the yin and the yang, and it's all going to happen. Karma, you don't want to do anything. Well, you know what? Do you believe in karma? Do you believe that something's going to happen to you for whatever it is that you do? Well, you should, because it's the way that it works. Except for the grace of God, you would be in a terrible, terrible situation right now if you're not already in it. So many of us are sad, anxious, depressed. There are many suicidal. In fact, more people in California died from suicide due to this COVID and the experiences of having it than died of the actual disease. And, most of the time, I can go on and on, but the one thing I will say, in New York, Governor Cuomo was just making this statement about, we don't have enough room, we don't have enough places for our people, when he was given a whole cruise ship to put people on. And what did he do? He sent them back. He sent them to the old folks' homes, the retirement communities, wherever. He sent them to those places. That doesn't make sense to me. Except Governor Cuomo also just, he is like on the on the mindset of that control of the city, abandon police. Like, what kind of a man could do this to us? He's one of several. He's one of several. I just want to encourage you, if you're from New York, you need to vote Republican. You also need to be voting in your local elections to vote for these local people, congressmen, councilmen, and all that stuff. We need to gather together. We need to form communities, forget the masks, because that's only keeping us apart and keeping us worried about each other. We can't even go by our families because we're afraid we're going to get sick from them, and they're going to get sick from us, and children and all this stuff. I'm just so sick of it. We need to stop it. And I'm telling you, out of the love of my heart for America and for you and for your children and for education and for prosperity in America, we need to do differently than we had been doing. Doing differently means that we need to be more involved. Excuse me. We need to be more involved with our communities. We need to gather more with people. I'm realizing that there's a loneliness. There's this low level loneliness that people are feeling because they're isolated. We're not like that. It's worse to not be together because we're not only, we might not get COVID, but we're also not being social. We're not happy. We're miserable. Like, is it worth it? I mean, there are therapeutics, and with Trump now, he got better in like 48 hours. Yeah, he's taking his therapeutics still, and he took some, medicine, but he didn't die, first of all. He was better within 4 days. Okay, so there are solutions, and still, if you're old and you're in a nursing home and you have these pre-existing conditions, well, you need to be safe. You need to stay safe. You need to wear a mask or whatever if people are visiting you. But everybody else, take your chances. Take your chances, and then just make sure. I'll tell you one thing that you can do. Probiotics, prebiotics. It costs you like $10 a month. You take the little pearl, it's a little tiny pearl, and then there's this little powder you mix in like juice or anything, water, just drink it. It doesn't taste like anything. You take that every day. It's like not a big deal, very inexpensive. And what it'll do, it'll keep your stomach healthy, so that anything that goes in there, any germs that go in there, are immediately killed by the electrons that that these probiotics, these bacteria will help to fight off. So it's a simple solution for $10 a month. If you're not doing that already, I encourage you to do that. It's very inexpensive. I do it, and I am grateful. I am so grateful that I am not as stupid as some. And you know what? I'm using that word loosely now. It's just like stupid. But I like to say more naive. We don't know what we don't know. But now we have an opportunity to know. And I am grateful that that God has been gracious to me and brought to me an opportunity to see what is the truth, and to know what is the truth. And before things happen, I am prepared. Some people are buying food because they're all worried they're going to stockpile their food. And, there's nothing wrong with that, except for if you're a hoarder and all you're going to do is stock, and it'll be an excuse for your hoarding. But the fact is this, there is a truth that you may not know. If you're stupid, stop being stupid anymore. Wake up, smell the coffee, make tea. Be healthy, stay healthy, give yourself good nutrition, eat good, take your supplements, and maintain your good health. Go to work. I still have to wear a mask at work, like when customers come in, but when we're with each other, we're just like walking around, with each other, we don't wear a mask. Like, we're fine. And we've been around each other. And I have one coworker whose father is very old, and she lives with him. So she's a little concerned for that. So she's always wearing a mask, and we have to wear a mask around her. But, the truth is, these masks don't do squat. You can blow smoke right through the mask, and particles of this COVID are much smaller. So you think that the mask is doing anything? No, it's doing nothing. It's doing nothing except for maybe keeping your spit from coming out of your mouth like mine. Sometimes I feel like, oh my gosh, with the sun is shining, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all that saliva that's flying out of my mouth. Mostly when I get excited like this. So good thing there's nobody sitting right in front of me, except for you guys. So I do want to encourage you, though, don't be stupid anymore. There is no time like the present to maintain our freedom. In America, if we do not maintain our freedom, like in Poland, in the Soviet Union, in these other places where they said, oh, I just wish I could have done it differently. I wish we could have just all gathered together and said, no, we're not going to go. We have our clubs and our things, and just say, no, we're not going, and just stand up for it. And, we have such bureaucracy is the word now. In fact, I just saw a video, and I'll end with this because it was so bizarre and so sad. There's two different ways that we can handle these things. We can say, oh, the bureaucracy, oh, they're telling us that we must do this. And in many cases, we need to override that with what is common sense and what is supportive of life to each of us. Okay, so in a at a funeral, there was a woman, there's a video, and I don't know if you've seen it. There's a video of a woman who is in a funeral. It's the mother, the two sons, and then people all around. So you can imagine a funeral in a place where you have to be 6 feet apart, everybody wearing masks. So here's this woman sitting in the middle, in the front by her husband, the casket, and two sons, 6 feet on one side, 6 feet on another side, and everybody's wearing a mask. And then you have all these people 6 feet apart. Can you imagine this at a funeral? I was just like, this is craziness. So you have the bureaucracy of the funeral home, right? What do they say? Oh, well, we have to maintain our status. We don't want to disobey the law. So you have to do all this and whatnot. Okay, so you've got that. And then, you've got people's response like, well, what should we do? Should we gather together? Should we go up and hug her and comfort her at her time of need? So the two sons are sitting there, and then one son sees his mom crying, and he goes to sit close to her. Then the other son goes and sits close to her. So now there's the three of them. Then a person behind comes to get closer. And then this man in this black suit walks up and says, oh, no, you can't do that. Separate yourself. In a funeral home with a woman who is crying because her husband just died, and the two sons cannot even comfort their mother. I found this amazing that they would not let this woman have her sons be comforted by her. I mean, have her sons comfort her. It was like a ridiculous. So someone brought up the fact that, we don't want to offend and disobey the rules of the funeral home. And then the other was like, we want to show that we want to comfort her, but it might be worse because maybe we'll end up in an argument, and then my mom will have this memory of this argument in the funeral, at the time. But in the bottom line, really what the two sons tried to do by sitting next to the mother, that's what the mother's going to remember. And if the rest of the people had gathered and just said, forget this, we are getting together. There were probably I don't know how many people were there. You couldn't see the whole camera, but all I could see was about 8 people. And they're all, if they would have all just gathered together, when the guy came in and said, listen, this is our funeral, we'll take our chances, go out and go bug somebody else. We're paying for this, we rented this space, whatever. And take their chances. So which is worse? For the mother to not be comforted by her own sons at her husband's funeral, at their father's funeral, or to have to deal with the man who says, oh, no, you can't do this, and you just shoo him away, and who knows what'll happen. Maybe nothing. Maybe they'll just let it go. This is the part that we need to do. As Americans, we have rights. We have rights to obey these feudal laws that really are not supportive of us as human beings. This is what they've done in other countries where they brought in the socialist mentality. This is what they do when they want to control you. Do you want to be controlled? No. We've had so much freedom in this country. We know what it feels like to be free. Our country was founded on Christian principles, whether you like it or not. If you don't like the Christian principles, then move, leave the country. This is our country, and we want our Christian principles. So, like it or not, that is what we want. Most of us do want this. So, this is the way we start. We need to just say, which is the higher authority? God, who says, love one another, gather together, do not forsake the assembling of yourself together, or the bureaucrat that wants to keep you apart to control you so that he can have his way, because the less you gather, the less you can resist. Because when we gather together in groups, we have great power. By keeping separate like this, we lose our power. Anybody can do anything to us if we're separate and isolated. We don't want that. I don't want that. You really don't want that. Okay, so I encourage you, stop being stupid. Do not vote Democrat. And I'm urging you that. I'm saying it principally because of the love of children. I have daughters. I have grandchildren. You may have the same. If somebody took your child or your grandchild, or even as a child, if someone had taken your mother, right, and aborted your mother or your father, you would not be here right now. You wouldn't have this opportunity. I don't care any excuse you want to make, any young person excuse. There's so many opportunities to have a child and give it up for adoption or have support needed. And there's also so many opportunities for younger people to not have to get pregnant in the first place. You know, I mean, abortion is the killing of an innocent baby, innocent blood. It has been done for thousands of generations before, thousands of years before, and every time it is done, and every time it grows rampant, you know what happens? That country goes under. No more freedom. They become enslaved of their own ignorance. They're ignorant. Now, the Word of God does speak of it specifically. You can read about it that it says, forsake not a little child to come to me. Forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven. This child, every child, is a gift from God to the world. I am a gift. I am a gift from God to you and any of those who hear this message and are willing to hear what I have to say and are happy that I said it, because it will somehow shift you in some way towards doing what is good and doing what is right. I am not asking you to kill anybody. I'm not asking you to kill yourself. I'm not asking you to do any violence. I'm asking you to grow in wisdom, in knowledge, so that you may live a godly and peaceful life and live well. And we can help each other to do that. So that's my opinion. So I am finished here. I am going to have a cup of tea and I'm going to relax. I have to get ready for bed so I can get up for work tomorrow. And so I thank you for your time if you listened. And this has been 22 minutes. I'm going to see if I can post it right to my YouTube channel. This is Karen Elizabeth. And I'm grateful that you got to hear what I had to say. And I pray that you leave a comment or share it, whatever the case may be. But I encourage you this year, this is one time. Hey, vote life this time. If you don't like the way it turns out in 4 years, then vote for death, whatever the case may be. But right now, we want you to vote for life, for the life of the unborn. It will break the curse off of our country. That is why we are in this right now. Our country is the result of the error of our ways for so long has taken its toll, and it's gone into all these other areas of life. When we decide that life is not important, then others can just come in and say, well, abortion over here, so why don't we just kind of like think about this in terms of other things like the gay, lesbian. In fact, they said with Planned Parenthood, people that work for Planned Parenthood, they have to become a member of the LGB, whatever that the initials are. They have to be a member of that, and they have to go to all their rallies and so forth. Planned Parenthood they have to. Otherwise, it's against the rules. You have to. If you work for them, you got to be part of this other group. You see, what happened was that's the abortion came in. Then we have rights over here. And then we have rights over here for these different kinds of dysfunctions for people. If a child is raised in a family where the father is not present and the mother is raising, or the father dies or the father's gone and the mother's raising the children, all of a sudden the son thinks that he's a girl because he wants to be a girl, because he wants to be like mom and all this stuff. No, it's the very fact that, that child needs to have a proper understanding of who he is as an individual, not to cater to his imaginations about what people are giving him to entertain that is unrighteous and not right. It's not right. And there are so many people that have had more of a tendency towards away. Like when I was a kid, I was a tomboy. Like I liked climbing trees and playing sports, but I had 5 brothers. See, I had the influence of boys in my life. It didn't make me a boy. What it did was it gave me an opportunity to learn about what boys were like. So now I know how to communicate with men, with boys, because I had 5 brothers. It didn't make me feel like I was a boy. You get my point? So we need to stop teaching our children that they are a different gender and then parents, like, they don't have to even, I can go on and on about that whole thing where in a school you don't have to get permission by your parents to see a doctor about being a transgender and all this stuff. Like, parents don't even have to, they can do it without asking their parents. Since when? Like, how bad is it going to get before you wake up and start becoming involved? And I'm just becoming involved now because I woke up. I didn't realize it. So now that we've woken up and some of us are waking up, this is a chance in our country to do something different. Do something better. Do something that's going to support and do, you ever wonder, like, what is my purpose here? I mean, what's your purpose? Are you going to just go out, hang out, do your thing, be happy, be good on Sunday, then go do your thing on Monday and, have abortions, and hurt people and do whatever this, illegal stuff and rioting. Is that what you want your life to be about? You're going to do that? That's foolishness. It's just foolishness. And I'll tell you that a life that is led in peace and with the grace of God is a way more fulfilling, because you each have a life. You've been given a life. You weren't aborted. So you have a reason why you are here. And your destiny is before you. And from today on, you will have heard what I had to say, and you will remember it because it is the truth. You are a person of purpose and destiny. And you have such a great, great future before you if you will honor who you are, honor the life that you've been given, honor the destiny that you have, honor the purposes of your life and what they're about, even if they are to care for your grandmother once a week when you go over and see how she's feeling and wish her a good day and make her a cup of tea or bring her some cookies, whatever. It's a simple thing, but it serves a purpose. If your purpose is to just be self-focused, which we are told that people will be lovers of themselves, disregarding others, and just that selfishness, it's not satisfying at all. You will always want for more. You'll never be able to rest and say, thank you, thank you, thank you for what I have. Because thanking and praising is the key to what they call the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is at hand when you praise God and when you are thankful and you have an attitude of gratitude about where you are, whether it's a good place or not a good place. It will take you, it'll move you to a better place in life. Being thankful and being grateful and finding the purposes that you can help to love others every day. Now that, by giving life to others, by sharing a living word with others. For instance, a very simple thing you could do. I really feel like you are such a special person. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being whatever, my friend, my coworker. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is if you feel that inside. And the only way to feel that is if someone or something is telling you that, because you're ignorant otherwise and you don't know to do that. But you, in order to be a life giver, you need to be a life receiver. And the way we do that is through thanksgiving and praise. And it helps us every day when we honor who has created us and honor the very fact that we have life. And if we want to have life more abundantly, That is where the Christian faith comes in. That is what Jesus went to the cross and paid for with his blood for you to have. So, wake up! It's time. Thank you so much for listening. This is Karen Elizabeth. God bless you.